Episode 26, Rock School. Introducing Dale Guyton on the BTS Creative Academy podcast. With me, your host, Martin Colton. So, hello Dale.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, and you?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining me on the podcast. Really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
So, how are things with you at the moment, Dale?
Yeah, not bad. Busy, very busy. Obviously taking up a lot more responsibility at Rock School, which we'll be talking about a lot today. Yeah, that's taken up a lot of my time with work and stuff, sort of planning career steps as well.
Okay.
Sort of getting my head around what I want to really do and progress to. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's been taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah, a lot of time sort of just thinking and planning.
Yeah, planning sort of what I want to do. I'm finally, first time in, I think, ever that I've got a set path and I what I want to do. It's just doing sort of steps to get there now.
Yeah.
So it's a nice feeling.
It's a nice feeling knowing that you're on
the right track finally.
On the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that can take a little while to discover what that track is, can't it?
Oh, yeah. I've had loads of different ideas, but then they haven't really suited me or felt it's not my thing. Mm-hmm. But now I've sort of found my sort of craft and I'm going for it. So.
Okay. So what is it you're doing at the moment then?
So my main job at the moment, so I'm a co-educator. So it's like a teaching assistant, but with a lot more extra steps. So I help kids with additional learning needs, like autism, ADHD, all that sort of stuff, from mental health as well, anxiety, like dealing with kids who struggle on a day-to-day basis, that sort of stuff. So I'm putting lessons to support them, make them feel more comfortable, safe as well. A lot of the students I work with, everything sort of scares them.
Okay.
So I build that relationship so they know if I'm there, they're safe. They know that if they need help with anything, I'm there. And also, when I was a student, I've got dyspraxia, so issues with processing skills, so like reading, writing, all that sort of stuff. So I had my struggles during school.
So you feel like this is something you could relate to?
Yeah, because I can relate to all the kids I work with, because obviously some of their issues are a little bit or a lot worse, or can be that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just sort of, yeah, I can relate to them, and it's easy for me to sort of bond with them. Like, it's easy to find sort of common ground. Yeah. So it makes them feel a lot more safer and more comfortable in class.
And what's that job title?
Co-educator.
You're a co-educator. Yeah, that's your main job.
My main job pays bills, and then on the side, professional musician, freelance, teacher as well. Mm-hmm. I teach drums, guitar, and then my main thing, main volunteer at Harlow Rock School.
Part of Harlow Rock School, and that's where I know you from, because my daughter's part of Harlow Rock School, and she loves it.
Oh yeah.
It's a huge part of her life.
Got me into music.
So
really?
That's where you
started?
Student.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
11 years old. Yeah.
Right.
When it was at Square, when the Square was still up and running. Because Rock School was there. I started there, and then sort of became too old to be a student, and then started helping out.
Take me back to that beginning then. So you found this life as a musician at Rock School when it was at the Square.
How I got into music was so I at Parsons when I was in year 7, they started a new club, Steel Pan band, and I thought, that'd be cool. Never seen steel pans in real life. Seen them on the TV in big carnivals. Mm-hmm. Thought, I'd love to learn them.
Right. Okay.
Learn how to play them, and there was this one gig we done where the steel pan teacher was also a drummer. She couldn't make it, so me think, drums looks easy. I'll drum for band. Didn't realise how hard drumming was.
Right.
Started learning it for this gig, and realised I picked it up really quick. And the steel pan teacher was like, she wasn't expecting me to be able to do it straight away, but I picked it up quite quick with a beat I needed to play. I could only play that for the first 3 months of playing drums, but that's how I got into drumming. And then for a friend of mine, Aidan, from the same year, he was already a Rock School student, and he noticed I started drumming. He was I'll go to a thing called Rock School, go and check it out. And so I went there, and history was made.
Right, okay.
So never looked back since.
Never looked back since. So what was that? What was it that drew you in there?
I felt welcomed. Like I always kind of felt like an outsider in a way. I never really knew my place. Really, that was a big thing I sort of struggled with when I was a kid. But when I went to the Square, met everyone at Rock School, it's like everyone else kind of felt like that. So we all felt welcomed. It was basically like a second
Like
family.
you felt you found your people.
Yeah. Found my group. I found I like this. This is what I want to do, and I felt welcomed, wanted as well. Because I never really had the best friends at school, but at rock school, so I felt really comfortable, and that was my sort of safe spaces.
Yeah.
And it definitely helped my confidence.
That's really important at a young age to find that, isn't it? That thing outside of school, because at school you're thrown together with a group of kids that you're only really with them because of where your postcode is. That's the only thing you've really got in common, isn't it?
And the thing with rock school, you meet people from all over, like not just Harlow, like Epping. We've got some students now from Stansted, where I live at the moment, which is still like half-hour drive away. Yeah, and they're coming to Harlow for rock school because they've got that interest in music. That's similar to yours. It's that common ground, right? Something to talk about, even if you might not have different hobbies. You all can relate to music. Yeah. So, and like the waves. So I don't know, it's hard to. Music, it was the first thing I found that I was really good at. Like naturally, I was good at. Like, everything else, all the work I was doing, like all academics subjects I was struggling with, because later on found out it was dyspraxia.
Okay, tell me a bit more about dyspraxia if I'm a bit clueless.
So it's like kind of under dyslexia. So dyslexia.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm dyslexic.
Okay, cool. So it's more like processing. So I could read. If you sent me a text, I could read it fine. I could read it out loud perfectly fine, but I won't actually have processed what I've read. Okay. If you ask me, what did you just read? I mean, I don't know. Like, it doesn't process. So like, the best, another example, Guitar Hero. Like reading, do you know Guitar Hero?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So when the buttons are coming, I can know what buttons are coming up, but my brain can't process it fast enough to get to my fingers, kind of. So how I get away with that with music, it's all muscle memory, all from what I've heard. I don't learn by sheet music, I learn all by ear.
By ear, so and by feel.
Yeah, and by feel, yeah. And I can read sheet music, but I know it's not my strength.
Okay, so you understand it in principle, but it's not how you're absorbing the information.
Yeah. So when I found that out, it's like, okay, like, it did help me. It's like, okay, I'm struggling with this. This is because of this. I just need to work a little bit harder. Yeah, that was one thing my mum helped me with. It's like, okay, you might struggle with this, but you still have to do it. You just have to put a little bit more effort into it.
Or maybe finding
other ways,
learning in a different way. That's what I found with dyslexia, and I always find it quite funny that I've chosen something as part of my life as acting. When I have to read scripts, I can barely read them. I look at the page, and the words are moving about, and I get lost very easily, and I'm often putting myself in environments where I have to look at them words and read them out loud. And it's like, why would I do that to myself?
There is quite a big actor who's
there's a lot.
Similar thing. He can't read the scripts. He has to get his wife to read them to him, and then he memorises them from that.
So you have to just find a different way of processing the processing the information. But in doing so, I found for me, it brings out new techniques and new ways of thinking about it. For me, with the words, I think about the words differently than perhaps someone that does just manage to read and say them.
You know, you kind of I have a similar thing with music. So if you read sheet music, you know what the notes are playing, but you don't understand the embellishments, what the players add in to make it their own. So when it comes to, I learn everything by ear. All chords, I love promoting like learn theory, but only as a guideline. Music theory only as a guideline, because it's all about because a lot of like styles of music, they don't stick to theory. Still sounds good, but as someone who just learns theory, they're like, that's wrong. So no, it's only wrong because theory says it's wrong. You can play any note in any order, it'll be right if you give it context. Kind of thing.
And the emotion and the feeling. The feeling,
you lose emotion when you're doing all like reading from sheet music, because you're not adding the embellishments, all that sort of stuff. Making it in your own, because you're just copying someone else. Normally. So that's why I learn, and you kind of hear different things as well.
So would you consider yourself as like self-taught musician then?
Yeah. So yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
So I play multiple instruments. So drums are my one instrument that I've had lessons on. Mm-hmm. Guitar, bass, piano, never had a lesson with. I just sort of picked it up. But for me, drums is more a job.
Right. Okay.
Also a hobby, but I've got a degree in drums. I studied it a lot. Had lessons for years. But with guitar, bass, and other instruments, I kind of just picked them up on the way, on the journey. And it's just sort of as a side thing. But I ended up getting quite good at guitar and bass because it's easier to pick up a guitar and practice than sit on a drum kit.
And, yeah.
You annoy the whole street.
The whole town.
Yeah.
Well, I know for myself, having my daughter, we bought her a drum kit one Christmas.
Oh.
And but that started her on the path to loving music.
Yeah,
that drum kit. Mm-hmm. So whilst that may have been an annoyance for the house and for the neighbours, for her, I could clearly see that was the beginning of her finding her thing. That she had that opportunity.
You saw that spark.
That opportunity to sit there and find some rhythm and and create the sound. She hasn't stuck with. She still plays drums, but she's moved on to guitar now. But it started.
I remember when she first started drumming. When she came to rock school as a drummer. I remember that.
So and I think she does go back to it every now and then. But the guitar is really the thing that she really loves now.
I could see her being like a front woman as well. She has that sort of persona as well.
Yeah, she's got a good stage presence. Do you know what? I wonder sometimes. I've been doing these. This is like episode 26 of these podcasts, and I do talk about both my children a fair bit on it. And I do wonder if any of them are listening. I know
stop, Dad.
Well, I know for a fact that she'll be going, Dad, stop talking about me. She'll be saying that out loud, but I know that inside she'll her ego would be going boom, talking about me.
Oh, definitely.
Because she thinks that's all I do anyway. She's like, she thinks that's all I do in my time is talk about her. And I do talk about my son as well, and maybe I got to find some balance there because he does do some amazing things. But my daughter through rock school, and that's why we're talking about my daughter. But she is rock school has given her, like similar to yourself, it's given her an opportunity to find her people, her community, people with the similar interests. And it's really brought out this love and passion for music that I know is going to stick with her for the rest of her life. She is a musician now. Whatever else she does in her life,
she'll always be a musician.
She'll always be a musician as well. Like yourself, you're a musician, but you've also got
do my other jobs on site.
You've got your other jobs as well.
That's one thing I always said to myself. I learned at a very young age that to make it as a musician in a band, touring is hard. It's doable, but it's not gonna. Even if you made it, you still might not be able to afford to live.
So have you ever been able to do it as a career? Have you been able, because you do elements of it?
I do elements. So if I really pushed with teaching, I could. The teaching side, definitely. But as an artist, not. I wouldn't put all my money on it. If that makes sense.
Do you feel a need to?
I would like to, because for me it's the way I express myself. And I would like to be like that centre of attention.
Yes,
kind of thing.
I guess all us artists in some way want to use our art, use the talents that we've got, and people to to listen and appreciate it, don't we?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the style of music I play and write is musicians' music. That's
right. Okay. And what style?
I love my progressive rock and progressive metal. Right. Metal in your face, sort of. Not the screaming stuff, but like very rhythmically complex. Like
an example of
like my favourite band, Periphery, Tesseract, Monuments. They're very like rhythmic based bands, but then very melodic as well.
Right. Okay.
They and it's why I love them sort of bands is because when you listen to chart music, it's only. You listen to 5 songs, you've heard all of them. But with prog scene is like you can hear. So 1 minute it'll be like really, really heavy, sort of like metal in your face, and then it'll drop down into this really like calm jazz section with really, really pretty chords, and then jump back into like a big melodic chorus, and then into a breakdown or something. You don't know what's coming, and that's what I like. It keeps me on my toes, and yeah, it's I just get really excited when I.
What is it that gets you? What is it you like about that music so much?
The originality of the music, like you can tell, and then a lot of bands in that genre are writing music they want to hear, instead of all these like pop artists who are writing songs that their like record label wants them to put out. They don't really have that much freedom. But the bands I listen to, they have full creative freedom, and they just have fun with it and try and take things to another level, which I like, because I feel like sometimes music can get quite stagnant.
Yes, yeah.
And but the bands I listen to are pushing
experimental,
experimenting. Yeah, it's not everyone's music. I completely understand that, but
it's
me,
for you.
It's for me. Yeah,
it works for you. That's good. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your place at Rock School, your position at Rock School, what you do there.
So at the moment I'm the leader. So there's 3 leaders: me, Charlotte, and Harry. We basically put bands together, planning the timetables, sort of like room to room. And was also working with the bands. I work more with a younger lot, because my sort of understanding of music, I'm able to break everything down to like the bare minimum and build it up from that. Because I've studied just everything about music, every different instrument, which also helps a bit at Rock School. But one thing I can't do is sing. So normally when I'm working with singers, I'll get Charlotte to do that. Yeah. I can do it. I've learned a bit about
play to your strengths.
Yeah. But everything else, like very sort of, my understanding of it's a lot more than some of the. But that's because it's my profession, kind of thing. That's what I want to do. But and also sort of keeping up with sort of like safeguarding standards as well. There, like being someone there people can talk to as well, like bringing my experience from working in mainstream education, bringing it into Rock School. So it does feel a bit more school-like, but it's very more structured, and they're actually learning. And I'm in charge of sorting out curriculum for them as well. So just so they're not just learning a song, playing it.
Yeah.
So actually learning stuff about music, learning what makes a genre that genre, kind of thing, and different. How you could, one thing I do teach is silence is your best friend, kind of thing. So then like different chords, how chords work, a bit of theory and stuff like that. And but I want to teach them that, because if you want to become a professional musician, 9 times out of 10 you won't be playing the style of music you want to play. Because all the work I've done is like musicals, pantomimes. So I've done a few musicals for BTS Academy. Done a few pantomimes, played for a few function bands, just playing lots of pop songs. But it's all music I don't listen to.
Yeah, I guess weddings as well.
The wedding gigs, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So it's just sort of teaching them, making them realise that, like, if you want a career in music, this is what you kind of got to do. You've got to be diverse in what you do. You can work on what you want to work on, but it's good to know the basics.
Yeah, especially if you want any hope of generating an income from it. Making some kind of career of it. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't just play your own music, can you?
Unfortunately, yeah.
There is an entertainment side of it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. The thing that annoys me is like, if you're originals band, you'll get paid £10 to £20. If you're a covers band performing other people's music, and get $1,000 for a gig. Yeah, and they're willing to pay. It's like, it doesn't make sense, but unfortunately, that's how.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the audience, what they want, what they're used to.
Yeah.
And it's part of the way that the industry is set up, I suppose.
Yeah.
If someone's having a wedding, they're going to want the songs at their wedding
that they know,
and they're familiar with. Hence, why they'll pay more money for that.
Yeah.
And then it's lucky to be in a position of being paid for your for your gig, because I know that's very hard for musicians as well. On the last podcast that I had someone musician on it, and we had a discussion about how hard it is to actually ask for money.
Yeah,
that's quite.
There's been a few
difficult.
times when I get it when teaching. I'll have people, friends who've got kids, and they'll be like, "Oh, can you teach my son or daughter?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I charge this per hour." They're like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to charge." I was like, "This is my job." You wouldn't go and get a free driving lesson. It doesn't work like that.
You have a skill you want to pass on that skill to someone else. Therefore, that's going to cost. Would you do that in any other industry? Would a plumber do that? Would a plumber come and fix someone's sink for free?
No, it does. Yeah, I don't get why people think that's normal for a musician to work for free. It's the same thing as we don't pay, we pay with exposure. I hate that saying. I was like, it's not much exposure really.
And I think like exposure in a pub, like
it's not really. They'll forget by the end of the night.
And I think there is an element of experience that you could perhaps get from doing that once.
When I was younger, I would take up any gig just to get that experience.
Just to get in. There is something for getting just in front of people. And doing it. So there is an element of there is. But I guess you've got to find a cut-off point with that. With that of what you're willing to do for free.
For close friends and family, I don't do free lessons, but I do like a cheap lesson or something. Or if it's a friend, I'll play a few songs or something. But I'm not going to drag all my equipment, drag all my band equipment, all that sort of stuff to play for a couple of drinks.
I guess there's a point where you have to understand the value of yourself.
Oh yeah. That was probably the hardest thing I found with the teaching, is how much I'm actually worth.
Yes.
But I struggled with it because I teach Parsons Academy Music School, and I kind of I found how much I was getting paid for that. So okay, if that's what I'm getting paid, I'll stick with that, because pretty decent wage. I was like, okay, this is what you think I'm worth. I thought I was worth less, but I'll take that kind of thing. That definitely boosted my confidence a bit as well. And especially getting the feedback as well.
So tell me about, before we move on from Rock School, for those who don't know, what actually is Rock School then?
So Rock School is a youth music charity. So we take on kids between the ages of 11 and 18. They come along, we put them in bands. Obviously, we audition them. They do need some sort of playing experience, like should be able to know what A chord is, that sort of stuff. But basically, they come along, they get put in a band, and they basically just work on songs with a band leader. Now, each band will have, that's one thing I've put in place now, me being there. Each band will have a band leader, like an adult with them, or like an ex-student who's come back to help out. They'll have them to lead them and basically work towards a gig. So we've got a Christmas gig on the 9th of December at the, I think it's Arch, just across the road.
St John's Arc.
Arc, it's Arc, yeah. I'm not too familiar with that venue, but it looks nice. I've seen pictures. But yeah, they'll just work towards a gig, and then we put a gig on, family, friends are allowed to come, have a good night. And so every big, so Easter, Christmas, summer, whatever, like a big gig, then little gigs here and there. And so we do loads of other fundraising, a lot of work in the community as well. We do some work with Mind as well, with mental health, I think it's a company. We do some work with them, putting on adult sessions as well. I don't run them, but it's basically like a get together with people who struggle into music and struggle with mental health. That's all thing, and but the main thing is the youth side of it. Working
it's
with
essentially a charitable organisation to get young people involved with music. It doesn't cost them anything to
no, it's completely free. The only time we'll charge is if we get people in and we're doing like an audience.
Audience to
audience, gigs and stuff.
So that you can raise money. Because the venue has to be paid for.
Of course.
And you've got a lot of musical instruments there, and you want to be able to provide for the children, the young adults. And I really do think it's a really important part of the local community.
Is Highway
Rock School.
noticed, because I've lived in Harlow, I've moved out of Harlow now, but I've lived in Harlow all my life, and I realised when the Square shut, there was nothing like that. Obviously, Rock School.
Yeah, the Square was a huge musical venue in Harlow, wasn't it? For live music.
It's huge across the country. Like, I didn't realise how many big bands had passed through there. And sad that closed, because I got to that age where I could have properly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and then it shut.
Yeah.
Because I went to obviously Rock School when it was at the Square, and I went to some of the incoming nights there, which are like the Thursday nights, which were open to any age, or like 11 and over.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience of seeing live music. So and going there definitely sort of helped me think, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But but the main thing with the charities, the other thing is somewhere for the kids to go as well. Because there's not really anywhere, I don't know of any other places that do a similar thing. Like somewhere, a building where kids can go and get off the streets and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So why do you get involved?
I got involved because I wanted to sort of give back, because I wouldn't be the man I am today without Rock School, and I wanted to give back to it because they helped me a lot growing up. So I went back, and loads of different reasons why I went back. It helps me helps me learn more skills, like leadership skills, because now being in charge of volunteers and stuff there, running, being in charge of 60 odd students, that sort of thing.
Yes, yeah.
Which is all sort of like different skills I want to learn to become a teacher and stuff, like a proper trained teacher. And I just want to basically help out. I know how easy it is to get dragged down the wrong path. So, and I know it is difficult for kids these days, just to sort of get on, especially with mental health and stuff like that. And I feel like I can relate to them, and I want to make sure that
you saw how much of a benefit it was to yourself looking back. You want that for others.
Yeah, because when I left Rock School, because kind of college and stopped going, didn't have the time, I noticed I was sort of losing my path a bit. Went down the wrong path and sort of all that sort of stuff. And I thought, okay, I don't want anyone else to go through what I did. How can I help? What could I do to sort of help or make a difference? So that's why I sort of got into education, working with kids.
Yeah,
because I can see the signs that no one else can, because I've sort of lived, had a brilliant life and all that, but unfortunately took myself down the wrong path. So I want to make sure the kids don't go down that sort of road.
Yes, yeah.
And I want to make kids know that they're good at what they do, and like they can take this and like run with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love doing it. I love passing on my knowledge as well. So, yeah.
What it was about the love of doing the music and passing on the knowledge? What does that look like?
I get excited about music, so knowing that sort of like sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so what is it? What is that? What is that to you then? That love of like doing the music, spreading, teaching the younger people the music. What is that like to you then? What does that mean to you?
It makes me really sort of happy. It makes me feel like makes me feel wanted, needed in a way. Because I like it just makes me happy that someone else is enjoying something that I also enjoy.
Yes,
and I like pushing people to their limits when it comes to music, and seeing amount of joy I get when I see a kid learn something that we've been struggling with for a little while.
Yes,
they get it. Like, I'm probably more happy than they are getting it, because I know how much hard work they've put in to get into that point. It takes to
get to there.
Yeah.
What I see from Rock School as well, I see a great community.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
a great group of people that have really sort of come together.
Yeah.
And you're all building something together. Like when you're working towards a show, you can see that everyone puts into.
Yeah, everyone, all the volunteers and crew, the leaders and the trustees. We're all from different sort of areas. We all work in different fields. Got people working like maintenance to help, sort of building bars, building stuff for us. Then we've got obviously me, Charlotte, Harry, with like musical-minded people. we've got the crew as well, who are also musically minded people, and we've got Sue, Mark, who are like the business heads. They run all the business side where we're concentrating on.
So you got all your different positions,
it just
areas,
comes
and
together
everything
like,
comes together.
Yeah, and it works perfectly.
And you're working on a common goal.
Yeah,
aren't you?
Yeah. We all know where we want to be and what we want to do, and it's because I did volunteer there a little while back. I think just after COVID, but I took a bit more time off to sort of work on myself, and came back with a vision. So okay, this is what I want from rock school, and everyone was on board, and now we've gone for that.
So what's that vision then moving forward?
Just like a place where people can learn stuff. That was because when I pop in, it sometimes felt like a bit of a free-for-all, which kids wanted to get on stage, wanted to play the same 5 songs over and over again. They weren't progressing as musicians. So I wanted to come in, and because one thing I learned when I was at rock school, because it was very structured, there was like lessons, certain workshops they'll do, amount of different stuff. I learned stuff about instruments I don't play, and because I learned that, I was okay, I might pick up this instrument, and I did, and that, because of that, I'm now playing 5-6 different instruments, because I've been like, I would never have, without this workshop, I wouldn't have picked up an instrument. So just bringing up have different workshops and like ways for the kids to learn more, because they won't know they like something until they try it.
And I guess what you could easily fall into at rock school is turning into just a youth group.
Yeah, that's club. What. Yeah, it could felt like that when I first started.
A youth club with a few instruments, it could easily fall into that.
Yeah,
so you've got to work on a way.
Yeah, it just needed structure, like a set structure. It was hard to put it in place because so many years.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of resistance, but I think the kids have sort of got it.
I think there always is resistance with it when there's when there is
change. No one likes change straight away until they're like, "Oh, this is actually good."
Yes. So how do you push forward with that vision then?
I went to Sue, who's sort of the main woman who runs the day-to-day sessions. I basically said to her, "I want to bring in more structure. I want to come and help out, but there needs to be structure. I want these kids to learn stuff. I don't want to come in and hear Green Day being played over and over and over and over again. I want to see these kids progress, because there was a few kids there who I knew from years ago, and they're still. I met them, saw them again a few years later. They're still playing the same songs that we were playing 3-4 years ago.
Right.
So where's the progression? I want. That's the one thing. Well, I progressed very quickly. I always made sure I challenged myself. I was always up for a challenge, and I was always pushed out of my comfort zone, which I felt everyone was very shielded in their comfort zone. So I was like, okay, no, I had enough of that.
Yeah. And why is the comfort zone not good?
You don't learn new things.
No.
You get stuck in your bubble, and then you don't.
Nothing moves anywhere.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, you're 20 years in, and you're like, oh. Okay.
Yeah. Why has nothing happened for me?
Yeah. It's like even that's why I would always say, don't just try and do one genre. Kind of mix things up.
Yeah.
Because I hated jazz for years. Well, not like the stereotypical jazz, but sort of jazz fusion kind of stuff. Hated all that stuff for years, and then so I never really listened to it. And then one day I just put it on. I was like, oh, actually, I like this. And I was like, oh. Then because I'm learning, listening to this new music, I'm taking elements from that, and then like blending everything together, and then pushing myself.
You found something new to create.
Yeah.
From that,
or like different methods to create something new, and passing that on to the kids, making them realise music. There's so much more to music. And my favourite one is that kids hate me when I always apply math to music.
Okay.
I always bring maths into it. Like you can break bars down into this. Like if you have like a bar of 16th notes, you don't have to play 16 notes in one order. You can break that down into 4, 4, 4, 4. You can break down at 5, 5, 5, 1, or different patterns and stuff. Just thinking about it like that, you open so many more doors, and it's just little different ways of thinking that I like to sort of like different. Like,
I wonder if your dyspraxia helps with that at all.
Oh yeah, because I love patterns.
Yes, yeah.
Patterns are my thing. Everything I do musically is all patterns. Like sticking pattern. Instead of remembering looking at sheet play maps, I'll think, okay, that's right hand, left hand, right, all that sort of stuff, and think of it in stickings.
Yeah.
So it's a different way of coming up with ideas. This is a different way of thinking, and it allows you to break writer's block, all that sort of stuff, thinking like different tricks and stuff.
So do you write as well?
Oh yeah, that's my thing. Yeah,
that's your thing.
Yeah, that's my thing. Writing music. I write loads of different stuff. Produce my own music, like sort of like dance music, EDM sort of stuff, and then write a lot of prog stuff. I've got just started up a new project because I was in a band. Recently parted ways for creative differences. The professional way of putting it.
yeah, we've heard that one. Yeah, isn't that how every band ever has broken?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, but with that band, as the one I left, it was the band had been going for like 20 odd years, and I kind of joined as a temporary guitarist, and then earned my spot, and I was in that band for 5 years, and I was one of the main songwriters. But with that, I was kind of stuck in a box. Because it was like a circus rock band, the whole thing. There was loads of gimmicks and stuff. The band's Papa Shango.
Right.
Papa Shango. I played with him. I had different, like the singer, but I want a song that sounds like Bon Jovi. So I'll listen to a load of Bon Jovi, be like, okay, pick out different elements and be like, what makes Bon Jovi? And then I'll pick out them elements and then try and write a song, not ripping them off, using them as influence.
Yes,
like,
of course,
a big difference between influence and ripping someone off. Completely different. Two different things. But
we've had this recently with some famous musicians, haven't we? Where they've had court cases because
Ed Sheeran, all that. Ed Sheeran's the big one at the moment. The big one
that's because he proved that influence is a different thing.
If
we said that no one could be influenced anymore, we basically end music.
Everything's been done. Every melody has been done. Every music, every chord progression has been done. Like even these mental chord progressions have been done somewhere. People forget we've got classical music. The amount of stuff that was being done and classical music, like everything's been done. So when someone just turn around, that sounds like that song.
So it's a case of adapting what is out there rather than looking for something new. It's taking what is out there in the world and putting your own spin on it.
That's what that's how I feel like original bands come from. It was my new project, Echo Hoax. We haven't got any socials out yet. So
so brand new, really fresh.
Brand new, fresh, yeah. First time actually saying it public.
Okay.
But with that band, so I got all my old school friends together. We grew up playing music, and we were each other's competition growing up. My mate Dan, Ryan, and my mate Cam all grew up. Cam's our singer, but I met him as a drummer. But me, Dan, and Ryan, we were in loads of bands together during school, college, and stuff like that. And we thought, let's get together, jam something. But we all, even though we grew up playing music, we all have very different styles. Because Dan is a steel pan teacher. His background's for Afro-Cuban kind of style, like Afro-Cuban grooves, calypso, soca, all that sort of stuff. And he's a steel pan teacher as well. Like he's so he has that background. He's a rapper as well, so he has that hip hop rap background. Then Ryan, our bass player, has that sort of indie grunge kind of background. Then I have like the tech side, like metal rock, and then like heavy jazz kind of guitar playing, like big extended chords.
So a real mix in there.
Real mix, yeah. And just like how we approach. So I'll play a riff, and I think, this beat in my head would sound good to it, but then Dan will play something complete, not what I'm thinking at all. But I would not expect that. As okay, I like that. And then Ryan will add in a bass line, sort of using his influences and stuff, and it just, because we are all good musicians, it blends so nicely. We've got all these like complex parts, and we've got Cam's vocals over the top, who is very pop influence, like James Arthur, very laid back pop. But then I've got him into singing more rocky vocals, and he was amazing at it. Like, got him out of his comfort zone, but he's flying. Yeah,
that is where the best thing happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Out of that comfort
happy
zone.
accident kind of thing, and I'm really excited for that project to become a thing. We've been doing some open mics to test.
Right. Okay.
Test some material, see how it goes down. It would be everything I learned at university, I'm putting into this band, like how we're rehearsing. Like we record everything we do, so we just have a camera. We'll watch how we're playing it. We'll listen back to it and like constantly change.
It's a great way to review.
Yeah. I learned it from I forgot his name, Steve Wilson. So he massive prog artist, is a pioneer of prog music. He if you're in his band, you've made it kind of thing. He is the prog guy.
Right.
He so every gig, every rehearsal, films it, records it, watches it back, and does bullet points of okay, what went well, what could go better, who messed up the worst, kind of thing. And then we'll have a band meeting after every gig, and that's how they stay at the top.
Great.
Because they're constantly
reviewing.
Constantly reviewing their stuff.
Reviewing and growing and learning.
Yeah. And I felt like really good approach. It's annoying for the rest of the band because they're like, oh, for God's sake.
Well, it depends what you want, what you're trying to achieve from the thing you're doing, doesn't it? It's, I'm doing exactly the same with this. That I started off, I think, quite ropey. And,
everyone does, yeah.
You know, like episode 1. But 25, 26 episodes in, each one I'm going back watching and I'm going, right, I didn't like the way that I spoke there. I didn't like the way that I spoke over the top of someone. Or I'm literally going through doing exactly the same thing, taking down some bullet
That's
points
how you progress.
of all the micro failures.
Yeah.
And but at the same time also looking at the things that I did right.
Yeah. That's just as important as like what can be better.
Yes.
So I make sure that I always praise like what went well.
Yes.
Like that, I make sure that's very important. And then look at, okay, this was okay, but then we could make this section longer or add a section because they don't merge well together, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of done the music side, and now because Cam, he's not a performer or hasn't performed much.
Okay.
He does loads of like YouTube covers and stuff, covers of songs on YouTube and TikTok, all that sort of stuff. But hasn't performed in front of. He's only performed. He hasn't performed with people. And you could tell the first open mic we've done, because I said let's just do Rock School open mics, which are first Thursday.
Nice safe environment.
Nice safe environment.
Yeah.
Feel free to mess up.
When did you say this is?
The first Thursday of every month.
Okay, so every month.
Every month, first Thursday. Yeah. And so we've done one. We're doing the other one next week, and we film it, and we probably annoy the audience, but I'm like going out. So, what did you think? Like talking about it, trying to see what they thought, and the worst thing is, that was good. And no, actually, I want to know like what didn't work well, kind of thing.
Get some constructive criticism.
Yeah. I love constructive criticism.
Yeah, rather both of them. Oh, it was fantastic. Or no, that was really crap. Both of them don't really help.
Yeah.
It's sometimes nice to hear a bit of that. That was really good, but if you tweak this little bit here or that little bit there.
Yeah. The main thing,
but it can be hard to hear as well.
Oh yeah. It depends how you say it. Because that's what I said to Cam. So I don't want to this to come across bad, but we need to work on how we look on stage. Because I thought that's just as important as the music, the whole image, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like recording everything, and then if we finished a song, we'll just get a rough recording, listen back to it, be like, and kind of think, would I listen to this? That's another thing that we think about. Would I sit here and enjoy listening to this song? And luckily, I have so far, which is a first.
Yeah, because you know your art, you know your music.
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't sit for it, why would anyone else sit for it?
That's why I don't sing, because I hate the sound of my voice. People say I can sing, but I wouldn't listen to myself. So I don't want to sing. So
no, well, you found your place. You found your position with your instruments.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't mean singing has to be part of that, does it?
No.
You don't have to force that, do you?
Yeah. But I wish I could sing, because would have saved so many issues I've had when I was like, I just want to get stuff done because I can record all the instruments. I know what I'm doing, but I can't sing to get this final song finished.
Well, I guess if something you wish you could do, there's opportunity. Isn't there ahead of you?
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting back into rapping now. I'm a little bit older, more experienced as a musician.
Okay.
Because I do like sort of like rapping and singing. I do like it. It's just.
Well, maybe are you open to being taught? You're a teacher, but are you open to being taught?
Oh yeah. It's just the money.
The money, yes, yeah. Or finding the right group of people that may come along to the open mic night.
Finding
some people you can, you can collaborate with.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to promote that to get to see more of Harlow's local musicians.
Yeah,
because there is a lot of local musicians. You don't see them anywhere because they're normally out of Harlow doing gigs because there's not really much going. Yeah, not
now that the square's gone. Yeah, the square was the hub of the town for live music, and that got taken away.
People tried to bring it back in other places, but it's not the same.
Not quite the same. There is a live music venue in Harlow, Phoenix Live.
In the town, I've heard that's pretty good. I went there a few times when it was at the old place, opposite Domino's. I haven't been in to their new build.
Yeah, I guess the location for these things is quite important, isn't it? And
It's an odd location in the middle of the shopping centre.
So I guess they're trying to do the best they can with the location that they've got available.
That's the other.
Whereas the square was just outside the town centre.
Yeah. Easy to get accessible. Especially if you lived out of Harlow, it's only 10 minutes away from the train station.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes away from a bus station. Is really the place was quite good. But now every place, every pub that's doing music is on the outskirts. Very far. Yeah. Like Rock School, we're trying to make that a venue as well on the weekends. Yeah. The problem we're having is it's out, like basically the location is quite difficult. There's not a lot of public transport that goes down. There's like one bus every hour, and everyone knows you miss that bus. You don't want to be waiting an hour.
No, exactly. I used to live at that end of town.
I used to live at Tarvlands years ago when I was a kid. And we moved because it's like my mum knew, so we would struggle with travel when we grew up. I'm glad we moved.
No, I lived in Catherine's. I lived in Sylvester's.
Sylvester's,
only just down from you then.
Yeah. I do like that area.
Yeah, nice end of the town.
Oh yeah.
But it is separate to it.
It's very separate.
It's very separate. So to have a live music venue down there, I can see how that could struggle to get going.
Yeah, but one day.
Yeah, maybe
we'll get there. Yeah. But you just need
promotion.
Yeah.
To get it there.
Getting more on top of social media stuff.
Yes,
so that is something we're working on. Because everything's sort of fresh.
Yeah,
Rock School now. We put the building blocks there now. We're running with it now. So,
great.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about let's look at now your teaching that you do. Cool. So what is it you do as a teacher? The correct job title is
co-educator.
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 What does a co-educator do?
So basically, the best way to explain it is it's a teaching assistant, but it's a lot more steps. Basically, we'll go into the lesson. Sometimes I work with year 8s mainly, so we have these classes, the nurture classes, who basically kids who have like primary school level kind of like reading and writing, that sort of stuff, very low level. Every nurture class in every year is different in a way. One will serious anxieties, one will be low level, and then ones would just be sort of like ASD, so autism, that sort of stuff. But you have all of them across the years. But one class, the class I work with quite closely, they are quite low level and a lot of anxiety. They're scared of everything.
Right. Okay.
So supporting them with them meltdowns, that sort of stuff. Breaking down the important bit of breaking down the work. Sometimes processing. If you give one big paragraph, read this and answer the questions, to them that would be impossible. Too much information coming at once. So my job will be there to break that down into little building bricks, and then get them to sort of work from the bottom and work up. So sometimes for some of the kids I work with, just keeping them in the classroom for the whole lesson is a win.
Yeah.
For some other kids, getting them to answer 2 questions out of 10 is a win. So but the important part of my job is building relationships, making sure they're comfortable, nice. Getting them ready for when they leave school, supporting them with their work, helping them in any way that's needed. We do some behaviour stuff. It's not part of our job, but I felt I kind of felt it came naturally to me dealing with behaviour and stuff. We do work with the whole class as well, especially the nurture classes when everyone in there will need help or your support. When sometimes you could be in a mainstream class and you would have 1 or 2 students in there and you would just help them. But sometimes they'll be really good at the subject for perks of autism. Some things they're just really, really good at.
Yeah.
You're just there in case they have a meltdown or something like that. You're there to sort of keep them safe as well. I love doing that because I like working in education because it was the first job that I had done where you can get given a lot of shit, but you're always going to get something back from it. Like I worked in hotels and you would just get shit, and at the end of the day, so I wasn't sure if we could swear or not. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, we did swears.
Sorry. Sometimes we'll be I completely lost my train of thought.
Comparing your job you do now to previous.
Previous. So I would get shouted at, and I go home. So I haven't gotten anything out of this. I've just been treated really badly. But with the school, you've got that good balance. So one day a kid will just be effing and blinding, but the next day come up to you, apologise, and thank you, and you can't
There's a more human gratification that you get from your job.
I always feel like I'm doing something, I have my place.
That you're contributing some way into that child's life.
Oh yeah. But the thing that I love is knowing that a lot of these kids are always going to remember me. Because there's teachers that I still remember because they helped me so much, and I still think back, this teacher would be so proud of me, kind of thing. I've gotten this far, and that kind of helps me sleep at night.
That's really nice to have been able to find that place. And is that a little bit? Is this place where you said you've got like this? You've got a path that you can see the future now with this job.
Yeah, so I'm doing this job. I'm getting a lot of experience working with kids with SEN, and I'm also because I'm doing this job made me realise I could get into teaching. Made me realise because there's been a few times when the teacher would go out and I kind of run a class.
Right. Okay.
When the teacher will come back in and then let me carry on till I finish, and they'll be like, "You're a natural at that." Like some people can't just get up at the front of the class and teach, hold it, and control the class. To me, it kind of came naturally.
Right. Okay.
I was nervous doing it, but it came naturally, and apparently I was really good at it. So that kind of flicked a switch in my head. So this could be a road for me that I could go down. And it's not just teaching; it's also going up above that, working with behaviour kids as well, because I'm quite good with that. Because I'm quite a chilled out person. I like having a bit of a laugh. I'm not that strict. I can be when I need to be, but 9 times out of 10, the last thing you want to do to a kid is shout at them.
Yes, yeah.
And unfortunately, some teachers, that's their go-to. But they're always going to have kids bite back doing that.
I've found some. I know a few teachers, and some of them are really great at their job. And I have come across a few teachers that didn't necessarily get into it for the children. They got into it for the subject.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I find, that they got into it because they love, they love maths.
Yeah.
And they want to share that maths because of that love of maths. But then they get these children in front of them, and and these children don't really give a shit about maths.
Yeah.
They don't care.
So
So then it's like they don't kind of know how to
deal with that.
Deal with that.
Yeah,
properly.
I know a few teachers who they love the subject, but they don't know how to teach it to one thing I've noticed, some teachers, they're good at teaching it, but to a higher level.
Yes,
that's when you get these diehard fans of a subject that they're teaching.
So it's got you got I guess like a good teacher is one, and from me remembering back at school is one that don't just love the subject, but they love the kids as well.
Yeah, you know, they're the best.
Yeah,
teachers.
And that's where I guess you're coming from, a place of you love the children and you love the subject, and the subject. So what subjects are you looking to? Is there a particular subject? Are you looking to teach music?
I'm looking to teach music, but I've got to take a weird
path.
Yeah. So
what path isn't weird?
I can go straight into teacher training in music, but it's not funded. So basically, I'll be working for a year on no money.
Right.
That's how it work out, because you don't get any like grant or anything for music. But I took an interest in computer science and realised there's a big need for computer science teachers.
Of course.
Luckily, my degree, I've done some programming, so that's just enough to get
get you through,
get me into that course. So I thought, and that's the highest funded subject.
Right. Okay. Good.
I think it's 26k tax-free money at the beginning of the year. So I was like,
nice.
I'll have to learn the subject, but I'm picking it up quite quickly. I like what I'm learning. I'm finding it interesting. I didn't realise that I was interested in this till sitting back in the lessons. That's one thing I do love about my job. I do learn quite a lot because I'm sitting in these classes learning the stuff.
Yes,
like history, geography lessons. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
Learning about Jack the Ripper. I was like, I didn't know about him, and I was like, I would never have known that unless I've been in that class. Yeah, so learning some cool things as well. But yeah, so I've the computer science. So I'm having to go down that route. Just because I can't take a year out, not getting paid, and I don't think anyone can.
No one could. No. And it's such a shame that it's not recognised.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lack of teachers because for funding, there's no funding for it. The pay's quite bad as well.
Right.
Working on it, but it's still going to be bad. But it's like the love of it, the passion. So teaching the kids, passing your knowledge on. That's what I like. I'm getting something out of it as well, which is for my mental health is what I kind of need.
Yeah. For your, you like we said about having the reason for doing it, the love for the subject, the love for the kids. Yeah. But then, you want something. Something in return.
I want to be able to go home and feel like I've done something instead of
you've contributed in some way.
Exactly that. Yeah. That's why I didn't like working in any retail job, because it's just like you were there like a robot. It felt like a robot, like no one cared about you. But at school, you do get, and every day is different as well, which I love. You never know what to expect.
You can get some experience from those jobs. I guess.
Like fast thinking. There's sometimes there's a lot of stuff they don't train you for.
No.
I'm not sure what I think I can say stuff if I don't mention names.
Yes, So, specifics.
Yeah. So, was on a residential trip. So all the teachers were sort of we were sitting there, and one of my kids. So it's about 1 a.m. We're making sure all the kids are asleep in their tents. And a kid gets out. I work quite closely with him. Gets out and just in the middle of a campsite gets his dick out and starts pissing in the middle of his campsite in front of all the teachers. And what do you do? You're not trained to do that.
No.
There's that fast thinking, okay, grab a jacket, cover him up, we'll wait for him to finish. Cover You don't get taught how to deal with that sort of stuff. And loads of other stuff like fights and stuff. But the thing it's quite scary as well being a teacher, so many rules and stuff. And but it is fun. It's a fun job. Keeps you on your toes and it does take its toll every now and then, but
very rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
You sound like the perfect sort of person that should be doing that type of job.
Yeah, thank you.
It sounds very very suited to you.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the first time I've felt like I've got my path. Yeah, really, yeah.
And so, what is there any advice to anyone that you'd give that I've been there in this place of being a bit lost.
Yeah.
You've got, what advice would you give to someone that's maybe a bit lost before they've found their path?
Explore. Try and put yourself out your comfort zone. Because I know when I started putting myself out my comfort zone, that's when I felt things started to come together a bit, and got more confident and was able to carry myself a bit more because I pushed myself, and I naturally got more confident, and then after, your confidence just builds and builds and builds. If you met me 10 years ago, I would not be able to sit in this chair and talk for how long I have been talking for. You just got to sort of work on yourself first as well. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out what makes you happy as well. That's actually, now I've said that, a big thing. Make sure you're happy with what you're doing. Don't get too comfortable. Happy, but then still pushing yourself. It's hard to find that line of doing that, but... just like small little steps as well. Yeah. But it takes time. I'm 26. I thought I would have my life together when I was 18. But it doesn't work out. But I've still got a few years.
Yeah, well, I'm nearly 40, and and I haven't got my life figured out. I'm there's some things in my life that have recently started to come together.
Yeah.
Recently started to come together. But even then, I wouldn't even begin to call myself any kind of success.
Yeah.
I've had more failures than successes, that's for sure, in that time. And I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, especially if I think back to my 20s, you feel a need to have a path.
Yeah.
And find it.
Yeah.
And like I say, most people I know don't ever necessarily find their path. And ones that do, it tends to be later on in life. It tends to be more that later stages.
Yeah. It took
so
me a while
actually,
to
mid-20s, you're doing pretty well.
I do have to remind myself. Of that. Yeah. I've luckily working in the school, I've met a few people who are like in their 40s, 50s, who only just realised teaching's what they want to do.
Yeah,
it kind of makes me feel a little bit more sort of comfortable knowing that I know people who've thought they've had a career and I've loved this, but then actually 10 years down the line have been like, oh no,
I want to change that.
I know a few people who've done that. So I might not be teaching in 10 years. I don't know where.
No.
But now I've got a path.
But you've got a direction.
Which is what I needed.
Yeah. I sometimes look back at my 20s as an era for making mistakes.
Oh, tell me about it.
At the time, not knowing it.
Yeah.
At the time, not knowing that that's what I was trying to, and you don't realise how much flexibility you've got in the time that's in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
You're only in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got your 30s, you got your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. You've got a while to live,
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's the case because, well, from my experience, you go from being like, okay, you do this, you're being guided through everything. Then like you get to 18, 19, you finish university, and they just
you're thrown out into the world.
Like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know what to do. And then so many different things you've got to worry about, like bills, council tax, all that sort of stuff. Little things that they don't teach you in schools, like what is a mortgage. Still don't really know.
No, neither do I. I don't think anyone knows. We'll put the call out. If anyone knows what mortgage is, let us know.
Let us know.
You don't. But in general, life. We do have paths and journeys, and I'd say it's not putting the pressure on you to definitely be steadfast. This must happen now or next.
I was very like when I went to university, I was very like what's the word, like I had tunnel vision. So I had one goal and one goal only. I wanted to make it as a musician. That's like and then after first year I kind of realised, okay, that's not gonna go to plan. Let's figure it. But I still had that plan, and because that plan wasn't going ahead, made me feel quite bad. I was spiraling out of control, that sort of stuff.
I guess that's the. It's really good to have a plan and a vision,
but don't put too much pressure.
But don't put too much pressure on yourself. That if the plan isn't working,
then
it doesn't necessarily mean that's your fault or you've done something wrong.
Life gets in the way sometimes.
Life gets in the way. Yeah. And it's maybe that's not what's meant for you.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because Monday I had a job interview for a cover teacher, and I honestly thought I had it in the bag. Done so much preparing, and I saw all the other people who were applying for it as an internal application. I was like, "This is what I'm going to do. It. I'm going to get it." That was my plan, and I didn't get it, and I just spiraled straight away. And I kind of looked back, so okay, why am I spiraling? It's because I put 100% into this one thing and didn't plan for I didn't plan to not get the job. So that's what sent me into that spiral, kind of like mental health spiral. But I mean, maybe like a little click was okay, that might not be the path I need. Then it's because of that I've been looking and found other courses I can do, which I get paid to do, to help with that income, because I was applying for this other job within the school, just extra money to get me through till September. That's when I'll start my teacher training properly. So I didn't get the job, but I've found all these courses because I was like, okay, instead of
something better is coming.
Yeah.
Something better.
My mum always says it. When she says it, I'm like, no, but then she's always right. Mum's always right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, mum's always right.
Yeah. Hopefully she don't watch this. But
I'll do that as a separate clip. Mum's always right. I'll make sure I find her and tag her in that.
But yeah, it's like, okay, let's make the most out of this. I've failed, but I'm going to get back up. And I'm already sort of back on my feet, even though it's Monday. And sometimes that sort of thing, if I get in that little pit, it could take weeks to get back out of.
And that's why those little messages and thoughts are quite important to share, is of it's not always meant for you. What you want doesn't necessarily mean it's yours just because you want it. You know, earlier this year I was in a place of being lost, and I wanted a specific job that I tried really hard to get, and the more I tried hard at it, the more I was hitting a brick wall. And as soon as I relaxed and stepped away from that, other things started to open up for me. And looking back, it's like, that was clearly never meant for me. Where I'm going now is because I let go of that thing that I thought I wanted. We don't necessarily always know, do we?
So
to beat ourselves up is not fair on ourselves. We're not being fair on ourselves, are we?
I do have to remind myself quite a lot. It's like, one, I'm young. Two, the stuff I have done in my life is amazing. Like opportunities I've done, and like think loads of different. I've had a lot of experience that other people will never be able to get in their life. Like playing in front of big stages, like having jam sessions with Jamiroquai. That's
really
university. I've had so many cool experiences, and so not everyone can say that. So I'm happy with what I've done, even though I haven't got that job. I just need to remind myself of that.
Remind yourself of what you have done.
Yeah, what I have done. Yeah, sometimes I don't think of it like that. That's the thing with mental health. That's what it does to you, unfortunately.
Yes,
But it's just sort of constantly reminding yourself. Well, I'm reminding myself I'm doing well. I'm on the right path. Don't let this.
It sounds like it. Sounds like you have got a good thing.
Easier said than done.
Of course it is. It is. It's always easier to chat about these things than actually live it. But that's also part of it, isn't it?
Definitely. So I make myself laugh quite a lot at school, when I'll be like, tell a kid, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, but inside knowing I don't do that.
No, exactly.
So I'm a bit of a hypocrite now, but all right.
But have you got any particular sort of like tools to help you along with like your mental health? Have you got anything that you particularly do to support yourself?
One thing that my counsellor really helped me out is she said, if you're overthinking it, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. It's not a fact, it's a thought. And I think about that and we went over some like science stuff, and it was like because your brain can go into like a panic mode and then like think of a scenario and actually make it the brain think it's actually happened, even though it hasn't, and your brain goes round and round thinking that it has. I forgot what part of the brain, but it's like it makes you think that stuff has happened when it hasn't, kind of thing. I forgot what part, but there's some science to it. It's fight and flight. It comes in that sort of stuff, and it's just sort of taking a step back. When you do get, if something does trigger you, taking a step back, realizing what the trigger is, and just be like, okay, take a step back, breathe, think about it. Like especially with the overthinking, that's my thing. Before I got here, I was like, what if I say something wrong? What if that kind of thing? And I had to tell myself to stop. Like if I keep thinking it will happen.
Yeah.
But I'm like, chilled out. That's why I had a little breath of fresh air before I came in, let myself out. And then it's just a thought. It's not fact.
Thought is not fact.
Yeah. And
that's
I only learnt that like a couple of months ago. That was
that's a really important thing for everyone to take on board.
Yeah, I think it's a main thing is the fear of the unknown, like what people were thinking, all that sort of stuff. Like just because you don't know, but because you don't know, you can fill the void with all these bad thoughts and stuff. So it's just constantly
you're creating your own story.
Yeah.
But if you can take that story and go, that's just that. It's just a story. It's not true.
Yeah. The other thing is like when you ever done something and you always after it's happened you think, oh, I could have done it like this, could have done it like that. So that was another bad spiral that I used to get into. But it's happened. It's done. Deal with it.
Yeah, definitely.
As savage as it is, you just got to take it on the chin and move on.
Yeah.
And it's just obviously easier said than done, but it's like going through the steps, kind of like taking a step back, thinking about the whole thing, and yeah. But I do live by that now.
No, that's good. There's some really good advice for others to hear as well. But before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss and share?
Not off the top of my head.
No. Is there any like lasting words of wisdom you could give to say the rock school students that are there at the moment, of the hopes and dreams that you have for the future for that place?
Learn everything. Every opportunity, everything that's offered to you, take it, because you never know what an opportunity can bring you.
Nice.
I think that's pretty good.
I like that. Thank you. Yeah. No, nice and sweet. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dale. I really appreciate you being part of the podcast.
Thank you very much.
So, I appreciate it. Thanks again, Dale.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. That was the BTS Creative Academy podcast, Uncut. I appreciate you joining us for this conversation. If you'd like to drop into more conversations, just search the BTS Creative Academy podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And to make sure you don't miss any future episodes, don't forget to like and subscribe.